I've done a few drawings here. I'm just trying to give myself some ideas for layout, just to maybe start some new things. And again, whenever I'm dealing with a motif or an idea, I also think in terms of sampler, because it's a great way to try out a bunch of the things that you're thinking and then eventually compose from that. So because of the sun, star, moon idea, and especially when you work them together, I like to use a longer format because it has the idea of continuing in it. So be it vertical or horizontal, I think that's a great way to get that feel of those things together, continuing in a line. So I'm probably going to be working a lot with indigo in this segment because when I think of sun, moon, stars, I think of sky, and when I think of sky, I immediately gravitate towards the indigo, but any blue will do. And I've cut myself some, just some circles and stars and things just to work with, because the idea is, is to line them up in some way. I mean, this whole sun, moon, star, time idea it's a really nice thing to see things aligned, either that way or this way. And I have some little pieces here that I can use to play around with. These are some circles that were left out, maybe cut out from something else. So you get the idea. I mean, I think it's also an opportunity to try maybe all different kinds of suns in a row, or moons or stars. And since I'm coming off this cloth weaving, I have all these strips. I'm also thinking that it might be nice to make thin strips of, I'm only using these as placeholders, like just thin strips of different sun motifs or star motifs, and then eventually combine them in some kind of layered, feel. Maybe even turn them into some kind of a landscape. So that's another thing that I might play with here. But the other really key layout to what I usually do, I'm pulling up something I've done before, is this spinning idea. And this is another great type of layout to work with because it contains motion. And I did this one, I kind of call it a scribble. I mean, it's really like a child's scribble, and it's a great way to take odd elements. I mean, just like it really happens, it kind of connects. It's a different kind of a field that would connect a lot of random elements. So that's another thing I want to continue to work with. I'm coming off the Heart series, and I did a couple of spiral type ideas. I mean, I thought, what if this scribble could actually take some kind of a shape form? So the scribble could also be kind of some specific shape that you want to use for a theme, but it will still be some kind of a spinning system. And then I've also got a few things, when I start, I always try to come up with ideas that I want to make from scratch. And then I have things that are left over from some other time that I might continue with. I've got this piece from the Heart series that's kind of got this sun thing going on, so I'm gonna continue on this. I've got some pieces left over from the weaving workshop. I just like all the blues together and how they form sort of a system, but then maybe that might be a nice background for something. I did pull out a few shibori things here. I don't know if any of you work with that at all. This was actually wrapped around a spool and gave a really nice sun pattern. I might talk a little bit about those later. And I have some leftovers that were cut apart that seem skyish. So I thought I would use those. I've got this sun type heart left over from the hearts. And then I've got this again, which is a cloth that's been hanging around for a while. And this seems like it could be, you know, a moon, sun, star arrangement there. And I've been discharging a few circles to make some moons. And I've got some of Glennis's moons left over here. And I've got a piece of Teresa's beeswax batik. She only works with solar energy, so I thought that was really appropriate. And I've got one moon left over from the weaving workshop. You know, I'm thinking here, putting one circle in a square frame is something I do very often, but I'm thinking now, why don't I reverse that and make the whole piece a circle and then put my frame inside of it. So I'm only thinking now, I'll put a few things together and come up with a few layout ideas.